And I want to say welcome. Stay with us. Don't forget to also stream in live so you can follow us, watch us online, either on Facebook, YouTube, or better still on X. We'll be here to take you for the next 3 hours or thereabout.
I would say Facebook, X, or better still on YouTube. YouTube is my own better still.
That's what it is.
How are you, gentlemen?
Well, we're keeping up. Sad stories from yesterday. The figures are still uncertain. You do hear that they said Kwara had that 72 hours ago. Kwara had the worst attack ever recorded, and I'm shocked that the country still is the way it is. When I say the way it is, it means
people are going about their business like nothing happened.
Yeah, I don't mean,
and it's most of the international press that is even carrying the story. And the state government is disputing the figures. The international press is saying 164. The Kwara state government is banding around 74, less than 100. But still, I mean, these are Nigerian lives, and there are dozens of them that have been killed in the most violent way possible.
And
then you wonder, what's the responsibility of the Nigerian government? That's just the basics.
That's the hardest part, Benga. The part you mentioned, the way in which they were killed, is one thing for someone to die of natural causes. It's another thing for them to be killed in a way that strips them of their dignity. I mean, the dignity of human person, or the dignity to human person, is a right enshrined in the Constitution that should be upheld in life and in death. And if someone has to die, at the very least, let it be that they're dying of natural causes, not because there's been a failure to guarantee their security, a failure on the part of their government. We will always go back to the government, because when there's a problem with insecurity, yes, it is the citizens, but it's the government that understands that when it's taking up the responsibility to lead the citizens, it's guaranteeing them certain basics. And security should be one of them. Insecurity should not be the norm, and that seems to have been the norm. I mean, just hearing how they were gathered together, like some people were shot at close range.
I mean, the pictures, I saw some of the pictures, very gory. And
I couldn't look at it. I couldn't look at it.
Absolutely heart-wrenching. And you wonder, where's the hope? I mean, if you're a Nigerian citizen anywhere in Nigeria, you have to be seriously worried. And we need to talk about these issues. Because, I mean, this is, before it used to be something that was so far away, people were disconnected. It's enraging almost every part of the Federation. And it seems the terrorists have a upper hand, because how do you even get weapons? Who are these terrorists? Who are their sponsors? How do they mobilize? How do they move around? It's not, we're journalists, we're not security experts. The security experts, those who have been handed the responsibility to look after, and that said that you should not pity us when they were seeking elections, should please step up. It's been one too many. We're tired of condolence messages that are just copy and paste from the last one. We're tired of, we're on top of the situation, we'll find those who did this. Please do something about this. Let this be the last time we hear about such wanton killings.
This let this be the last time sounds like a teacher giving an instruction to a student. Unfortunately,
it's one day too many.
In the reality of what we see in Nigeria, you recall that the security experts we bring on the show often would say that this will not be the last attack. Because you also have to judge by the body language of the government and see if the government has acted in a way that shows that they have the upper hand.
What do we need to do differently?
You're even talking about, I mean, we're still talking about Kwara State. The governor had appeared just recently, video surfaced overnight. The governor took a trip. He's calling on the President Bola Tinubu, to step in, that the killings are too much. But another thing I'm worried about is the narrative as well. Governor Abdurrahman Abdurrazak is saying that there were 70-something Muslims that were killed, and they were told to radicalize the perpetrators. That's the terrorists came in and told them to, join them.
They were preaching an extreme version, yes.
Extreme version. They said, no, they're not going to, and then they massacred them, as it were. While that was happening, Katsina State also had its own fair share. They had to bury over 20-something people just yesterday. And if you add the figures, hence why you have the media saying 200 dead in 72 hours. It's crazy. And sadly,
I mean, this calls for national emergency when we're not in a time of war. This is beyond low intensity conflict. This is wartime figures that we're really in, and everyone is going about politicking, the campaign.
And there you understand.
It's really, really terrible.
Yes, and the sad thing about it is, not only are citizens losing their lives, those who haven't lost their lives have automatically become internally displaced persons because no longer do their homes feel safe. Before, home used to be a place where people could go after a long day, a place where you would know is your own, even if nowhere else is. But for these citizens, where is home? They no longer have a home, and they don't feel safe anymore. Then there's also the talk of the post-traumatic stress disorder that a number of them would have to face for the rest of their lives. How much psychosocial support does the government provide to them, where they are able to lead normal lives and not just think that the next minute a terrorist is jumping out of the bushes, you know, and shooting them? It's the most despicable way to die. And we talk about it here. We'll show the clips. And guess what? We eventually move on.
A high number of Nigerians living in internally displaced camps. They can't go back to their communities because they've been overrun by terrorists and bandits. And we still have government officials going about their business like, you know, nothing is happening. It's not their business. Sorry to interrupt you. I remember, because of the sanctity of every human life, during the Charlie Hebdo massacre in France, a cartoonist wrote something, and violent extremists went into the publication, killed a number of people, and about less than 10 people. Heads of states of African countries, quite a number of them, prime ministers, they all flew to France in solidarity. And they were holding hands with the then French Prime Minister, François Hollande, saying, Je suis Charlie. If you remember.
I remember.
That's to show how much they value a Nigerian life. I can guarantee you, since the high-intensity conflict began, the Russia-Ukraine conflict started, there's been no day where they recorded upwards of 200 plus killed in action, casualties. And this is peacetime Nigeria. And, you know, the whole nation is not even pausing to say, wait, what's going on? Are we normal? People are going about, you know, no 1 minute, no flags are flying at half mast.
I was going to mention that.
You know,
I think it was
people have no State of the Nation address.
Nothing. Yeah, I think it was in Senegal.
Nothing.
I'm not sure now where they had
so
an accident. And it was a road accident.
Yeah, it was Senegal.
Senegal, right?
Yes.
Where a number of people died, and they declared 3 days of national mourning and flags flown at half mast. And why they can do that is because they know it's not the norm. But the unfortunate thing is that here in Nigeria, if they do it today, they're going to do it in another 3 days. So how long will they keep flying?
Yeah, we need to. If we're going to do it every day, let's do it so that the killings will stop and we'll know how serious it is.
Okay, let's get into the conversations for this morning. Beginning wake-up conversation. I mean, that would form part of the conversation, and we're taking what Nigerians are saying about that. But let's bring you very shocking numbers that talks about a report that shares about 54% of minors taking alcohol. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, says a new national survey has released alarming levels of alcohol consumption among Nigerian children, with nearly 1 in 10 children under the age of 13 reportedly drinking alcohol every day. The findings, released on Tuesday and conducted in collaboration with the Distillers and Blenders Association of Nigeria across 6 states, show that more than half of the minors, about 54%, buy alcohol for themselves, often in small sachets and bottles that can easily be concealed. According to the agency, the widespread access is fueling early exposure and abuse among young people, prompting its decision to phase out alcoholic drinks in sachets and containers smaller than 200 milliliters. While manufacturers and traders argue the ban could hurt jobs and livelihoods, NAFDAC insists the move is necessary to curb underage drinking, protect public health, and limit children's easy access to alcohol nationwide. And we've talked about this on the show. We're going to talk about it again. Children have no business getting to alcohol. They have no business laying their hands on alcohol. And whatever we must do, regardless of, you know, who it will affect, we must do to protect our children. We went to the streets. Jasiri went to the streets to ask people what they thought about the alcohol ban on sachets. And here's what they had to say.
Government buying sachet alcohol. That's the only brand people could afford. Bottles of beer are expensive, let alone the spirits and wine. Much dear and costly. If they ban sachet alcohol, people are going to protest.
I really support the government banning such because it's really endangering people's life, and we have so many of it out there. We have the good ones, the ones that are not, from the company.
Little children, they don't have control over some of the things that they take. Sometimes when they take this alcohol, they misbehave, they go into all kinds of promiscuity. Some of them even commit suicide. That is why you see a lot of social vices in our country today. So whatever the government is thinking of doing or is already doing, I believe is for the general good of the youths and the children and Nigerians.
It will actually protect our youths, because instead of them wasting their money on something irrelevant, they actually use their money for something reasonable.
It is going to affect the livelihood of the sellers, the users, everybody. It's cut across.
Even though some people will say that it's going to affect their livelihood because that is where they make their money from and all of that. But my message to Nigerians is that it's better that people should regulate the way they take alcohol.
If we look at it very well, we have so many people selling this sachet alcoholic drink. So if the government bans it, I think it's going to bring down so many businesses down. To me, I feel they should ban everything alcohol. And the reason is it's not really good. We have so many people taking too much of this alcohol drink. And when they keep taking it, it's just really bad for them. The government should at least help them in, when they collect these things from them, they render them, jobless. We have some people that goes there very early in the morning, goes outside to try and sell. So I believe they should help them with some funds and get another business doing.
I think government should look for something else to give to those people that are working in those companies. Like they should create another job opportunities for them, or they can actually use their company to maybe make something healthy for people instead of just leaving those people that they were actually involved in the alcohol stuff.
I think the government should support them in many ways. Well, I can't say because, we are saying this, but it depends on what they want to do. That's the government themselves. Even if they ban these people, there are many things they've done that they don't think support comes. If they can support people, I believe people would work on doing what is right. If they can share a helping hand to make job easier for people that are selling. Because I know it's because there is no work. That's why you see some people do what they're not expected to do.
People that they tell us say they don't ban alcohol, but we beg our government they no ban our drink because now they use take care of my baby, use and shop. Me where I dey like this, I no get husband. Now me be husband, now me be pikin. Make it help beg our government, make it no ban alcohol because now they use shop take care of my baby. I beg.
So it's literally for many people caught between the devil and the deep blue sea. While some people have found that as their primary source of income, there are others who have worried or who continue to worry about the ease of accessibility to young people, to people who should be working, drivers.
And that's one of the biggest problems,
and that's
ease of accessibility.
Yeah, a driver, and even we've seen minors, drivers who should not be taking alcohol. People who should be on duty will just collect one or two. I mean, Johansson knows how these things work.
As an investigative journalist, not as a consumer.
No, not as a consumer.
Yes. And I can categorically tell you that if you pass around Oshodi as early as 5 a.m., if you pass around Ojuelegba, there's a time we used to commute around Ojuelegba before getting to the office. We had to pass Ojuelegba to pick one of our producers then, as early as 5 a.m. I can mention these spots: Ojuelegba, Oshodi, Yaba, Surulere, Ikeja, on that bridge. You would see these women all stocked up in that basin, ready to go. And like you rightly said, and Bingas concord, you see these drivers, it's so accessible. So they just pass, they pick the sachet, they pick two, they tear it, and they are driving.
We've not even mentioned the elephant in the room.
Which is?
Kidney problems, liver problems, health problems, health implications.
I'm even worried
down
about
the road.
I'm even worried about the implication for the people in the car. So they tell you that it's too. I asked one of them that, why do you take this thing in the morning? He said, this one, if you do anything, just to open my eye.
Yeah, that's a very false
Another one told me that
narrative.
It's for his back pain, his waist pain, that when they take the sachet in the morning, it gingers them and helps relieve the back pain before they now go for the mixture. I mean, and there's monkey tail and all those ones.
And there's no medical medical review to back that.
So it's why even that
made up in their minds.
It's why the government had banned the sale of all those monkey tails and all those agbojedi. Unfortunately, they're still selling it because when it comes to medication, medication is made in certain proportions with certain ingredients, certain materials. Dosage, you can tell, 5% of this, 10% of this.
5 milligrams.
With alcohol, you cannot tell. They just mix all sorts, right? And when they mix all sorts, you're not sure of what you're taking. You're not
and
sure
it's led to many loss of lives, accidents. Even if you're working in a factory, they say do not operate machinery if under the influence. You're not allowed to fly a plane. You're not allowed to do certain things. To drive if you're under the influence.
Cough syrup
even work.
is written there.
I mean,
cough syrup.
Most organizations, their human resources department, have a workplace policy because they know what people do when they're under the influence. You're not supposed to drink. These guys don't even have a time frame of when they drink.
4 a.m.
Okay, let's go for after work drinks. We're done with work. They drink, and it's the easy accessibility. You know, it's like on the go.
Yeah.
You know, sachet just.
Wow. You have a lot of experience.
Where you,
as an investigative journalist,
as now, you check your pockets.
You have a lot of experience, and I can see.
You know, and there's a brand that is normally used for the gods, for libation and things like that. And guys human beings have started drinking it. That brand that starts with S. They've even made it in sachet. Are people now gods?
See, listen.
Well, scripturally, Bible says we are gods.
I agree that it should be banned. I agree. And I'll tell you why. Whether you're watching and you hate it or love it, don't hate me. I mean, like they say, don't hate the player, hate the game. I hate the game or love the game. The truth is, it is not safe. The demerits are way too many compared to the merits. Another aspect is that these sachets are responsible for blocking the road, the canals.
Yeah,
you find them. They also are the pet bottles. You find them whenever there's drainage. The drainage systems are always clogged.
You're right.
All of these things. So let's stop. We're not saying if you want to drink, don't drink. What we're saying now is the government is simply saying those small pet bottles, those tiny ones, the sachet gone. If you want to drink, like they say, it's a poor man's luxury. Poor man. Just add more money, buy the big bottle. Because I don't think it will be normal for somebody to hold a big bottle and be drinking like this. I'm sure people in the bus will come down and say, Jojo. Everybody will come. But because they see him tear it and press, and they say, he's taking little.
Well, from Lagos to Ibadan, he can tear.
He can take like 4.
Exactly.
They buy a sachet, they buy a wrap.
So I agree with the both of you, because we cannot say that we are prioritizing. The truth is, with every illegal, okay, maybe not illegal, with every seemingly morally bankrupt action, because drinking and driving is actually illegal.
It's against the
law in everywhere in the world.
Yes.
But last officials let them do it.
So what I'm trying to drive at is, if money is the reason why you're making these decisions, every business that you're making illegal, there's always someone to profit from it. There's someone who would come and say today, please, don't outlaw drugs. Because it's how they make their money. It doesn't make it right. The people who say don't outlaw weed, it's how they make their money. Does it make it right? No. So I am completely, and without trying to sound...
I mean, after all,
without trying to sound
Sharia
privileged.
States
That don't do alcohol. Without trying to sound privileged, I would say that I'm completely in support of the total ban of sachet alcohol. The complete and total ban of sachet and PET bottles. It's not good. It's not safe for our children. It's endangering our children. And even for people who underestimate the impact, you see to yourself, it's just little. And before you know, you keep taking more. Your tolerance
becomes a culture.
Yeah,
and then you're hurting your organs.
Gets worse.
In the long run, health implications.
I know we have to move to our next story, but before we go, I just want to highlight the fact that, you know, the irony of this sachet drink and the bottle, the small bottle. You know the irony of it all, guys. The irony, the most irony is that about 30 or 40%, I can't remember that statistics, of these drinks are fake.
Oh, they also make the fake.
Yes, they make, some people make them in the backyards. They're fake. So most of them drinking the pet bottle, the small one, they drink, they're like, they just mixed it. Somebody just mixed it behind. There are videos that have shown how they were caught. People were caught. They have the sealants, they have the machine. They put the thing in the sachet, they print everything, they put it. So even, I mean, I was privileged to work with one of the
I think these days it's just safe to be drinking water.
Exactly.
Yeah, I worked with a brewery company that was some years, about 2-3 years ago, for a weekend. And part of the meetings, I was part of the entire meeting and everything, in their presentations were like, they have a marketing challenge. In the market, they have people who are proliferating their same product and they are fake.
So in addition, what I was going to say to that is, if we're looking at fake, for me, I won't totally say fake is the reason I'll tell them to scrap it.
No, I'm just saying
because there are too many fake brands.
One of the reasons.
Okay, because even with the big ones, the big bottles also have.
No,
there's a particular brand that seems to be like. I mean, I don't know a lot of alcoholic brands, but this one, we hear people when they say, "Who are that?" You know,
they say in Lagos.
They say every of that
one that sounds like Asun.
They say everyone, like majority of it in Lagos is fake.
You know what people say online? They say Lagos are your fake drinks. That Lagos, but let's leave it.
Anyway.
Kudos to the government. For Nigerians who don't want to agree, I like the fact that Jasiri went on the street. By the way, watch Jasiri. As soon as we end Breakfast Central at 10
a.m.
Jasiri starts at 10, so make sure you watch.
Okay, so let's bring good news. Move away from it's been really dark, uncomfortable stuff. President Bola Tinubu on Tuesday declared that his administration will not back down, or his administration rather, will not back down on its sweeping economic reforms, despite the initial hardship they caused, saying the measures are critical to rebuilding Nigeria's economy and securing long-term growth. Speaking at the State House in Abuja while receiving a World Bank delegation led by Managing Director of Operations Anna Bikiet, Tinubu explained that his government removed the fuel subsidy and unified the exchange rate to curb corruption, stabilize the naira, and promote transparency and accountability in governance. He acknowledged that the reforms triggered inflation at first, but maintained that the economy is now showing signs of stability, adding that the focus is shifting to agriculture through mechanization, improved seedlings, and better access to fertilizers to boost farmers' productivity. The president also sought stronger World Bank support and financing to accelerate growth and create opportunities for Nigeria's large youth population. While the World Bank commended his steady leadership, describing the country's reform progress over the past 2 years as remarkable and increasingly recognized by global investors and policymakers. Gentlemen, let's take a look at this video and we'll come to share with you what Nigerians are saying.
It was difficult for a leader to look the other way in any corrupt environment for an opportunity that can give him one chunk of money in subsidy regime. No. In multiple exchange, give it up. Let the world and the country benefit from a stable currency. And yes, the first reaction was the high inflation, but it's come down dramatically. The naira is stable. Today, we can help, various investors.
I think we should just see what Nigerians are saying first.
Before we go. To see what Nigerians are saying.
Nosa Ken says, if President Tinubu was the president in 1999 with his vision, Nigeria wouldn't be in this mess we're in now. Tinubu is truly the best man for the job, says Nosa Ken. So I guess Mr. President can count on his vote in 2027, the vote of Nosa Ken. Zoe says, inflation down dramatically, Naira stable. What Nigeria is Tinubu living in? Food prices are still skyrocketing, Naira fluctuates constantly, and people can barely afford basics, telling the World Bank fairy tales while citizens suffer. Is peak disconnect? Zoe has a completely different opinion from Nosa Ken. Chibike says, if inflation reduces, you will not need to announce it. It will be in the streets. It cannot hide. Marketers, households, individuals will give feedback. Okay. Green says, okay, if the reformers continue, what is the government doing about electricity? We all know the backbone to a strong economy is cheap energy. That's why billionaires are moving factories anywhere that is cheap to produce things. Why not let us have a deal with China to build us a capacity to have cheap energy and standard energy infrastructure? We have the method to generate electricity, gas, water, solar, wind, except nuclear, which I feel we should invest in. Let's focus on physical economy now and fiscal economy. And communication is key. Address the nation at least every 2 weeks. Let people know your goal, the aim of your policies, says Green. I agree with a lot of things he said. In that statement, Kotosia Face says, please, is it only on TV and paper that things, they calm down? Fuel went up 2 days ago to $8.90. So where are all these things coming down? Okay. And Hope says, calm down, as in it went higher to a level that is coming down, seems as if it actually came down, whereas the current down is still much more higher than where you met it. That's another debate, you know, when the... Okay, we'll talk about that after we finish what Nigerians are saying. Seno King says, this was the tactics I used in each of my project defense, just like confidently. I want to know what university you went to, so they can review your degree.
I'll call you back.
I'll call you back.
Well, whether we like it or not, my take on this is that were the reforms that the current administration pushed forth, were they bad? Answer, no. Mm-hmm. And I'll say no because, one, subsidy removal was key, although there's still an argument whether subsidy has been removed.
Yeah.
And then what has the money been used for, the money gained?
And the way it was removed. Whether it has been removed is because recently there's a video that circulated online where a senator had said, oh no, they've not removed subsidy. And he's an APC member. And everybody's like, oh wait, what are you saying? Anyway, that aside. Second one is what we've just said right now, the manner in which subsidy was removed. The timing, most importantly for Nigerians, the timing. And people still feel betrayed that the person who's removing subsidy now blocked and stopped a former president from doing so, which was Goodluck Ebele Jonathan's time. And they feel like...
So could have swallowed the bitter pill a long time ago.
Then Naira was still as powerful as you can
And
imagine.
then you missed something very important. The removal of subsidy happened at the same time as the floating of the Naira.
So
it was...
back to back.
And the
last question is, what are those in leadership, what are they doing to show that they are also willing to go through the same process that all Nigerians are going through? There's no
That's the last question, but the question before that last question is also the impact of the funds saved.
Oh, yeah. I think that's the biggest question. Where is the money? Yeah, so you know, they always refer to two things, right? The state governments are getting
more FAC,
and then
allocation from FAC.
And then education, students can now access loans.
It's a loan at the end of the day. You're not, I mean, let's talk
it's
about...
It's not a gift.
Let's talk about improving the quality of education, teachers, the learning environment. It's not a gift, like you rightly said.
We'll go to break. When we come back from the break, we have one more story, and then we'll call Wake Up Conversations a wrap and get into our top stories proper. Please stay with us. And keep the comments coming on YouTube. We'll take those after this break.
Maybe we can call that guy Mafia. We can call that guy. Yes, sir. I said her camera is not focused.
Gen Z can listen to rubbish.
Mm. What's me that song? Opafia. What's me that meaning? Let's see the meaning.
Not Gen Z song.
That Opafia mean dirty thing, no?
Where's Opafia?
I don't know that song. Focus.
Focus. And him a Wheezy. Say call that guy again.
I don't even know.
Focus. They come to after they go say Opafia.
Oliver, I want to buy you this shoe. It will fit your leg.
I like it.
It looks like a hairbrush. It's 56,700.
I like it actually.
No, they always focus past that one though. They always clean.
Huh.
If you look. Now this is it. I can tell you. No, go check online. Go check. I said, go check. Go play back. Welcome back. You're watching Breakfast Central on a Thursday morning, and we are here live telling you what the latest story is. But let's go straight on YouTube and see what Nigerians are definitely saying there. Olive?
Yes. On YouTube, we have comments. We are streaming live via News Central TV live on YouTube. So please go there if you'd like us to share your thoughts. Lenny Kwara says, it might sound funny, but you need alcohol to knock you off from some kind of news you wake up to in Nigeria, like 160 plus killed in a day. Even in Ukraine, where war day, people know they die like this. Crazy. Frank Obute says, they talk about corruption as if the corruption merchants are aliens. Is he talking about the Nigeria with Abuja as its capital, or there's another Nigeria elsewhere? And then Felix Okechukwu says, 5,000 megawatts for 230 million people, and the economy is doing well? Question mark. And 3 laughter emojis. Keep the comments coming.
Please,
on
can
YouTube.
You pronounce the 3 laughter emojis? Can you bring it to life?
Ha ha ha.
Ha ha ha. Yes.
All right, now let's move. I mean, we did tell you this earlier about the unfortunate killings. We cannot but give you the details that at least 162 people have been killed after heavily armed gunmen attacked 2 villages, Woro and Nuku, in Kayama local government area of Kwara State, in what is being described as one of Nigeria's deadliest assaults in recent months. A Red Cross official confirmed the death toll yesterday on Wednesday, as local authorities say that the attackers stormed the communities on Tuesday evening, rounded up residents, shot many at close range, and set homes and shops ablaze. Survivors fled into nearby bushland with gunshot wounds, while several others, including the traditional ruler, remain missing as soldiers and volunteers continue search and recovery efforts. Lawmakers believe the Lakrawa group, an armed faction linked to the Islamic State, may be responsible, though no group has officially claimed the attack. The massacre has once again heightened fears over worsening insecurity in parts of northern Nigeria, despite ongoing military operations to curb terrorist and bandits' violence. Let's now head to X to share with you what Nigerians are saying. Sad to read this. Is the Nigerian government still working with Trump's administration on security matters? Sir Iang says. Well, there's an update on that, and we'll most likely take it during the show. Chidiebere Ifeanyi says, 162 souls gone in hours. Nigeria keeps breaking its own records for deadliest attacks, and yet the response stays the same. When does this become unacceptable enough to force real change? My heart goes out to every person in Woro and beyond. Indeed, Chidebere, our heart does go out to them. 162 people killed, and the country is calm. No protest, no anger, no nothing. And Dija asks, is really business as usual. It's just 4th of February, and at least 162 Nigerians have been killed by terrorists in Kwara State. A whole 162 human lives lost. And there's no emergency broadcast, no mourning, no national address, no grief and anger, just silence. What does it mean when the government, despite allocating billions for security budgets, still cannot protect citizens? Are Nigerian lives cheap? Relax. Tinubu is fixing Nigeria, but 162 innocent people lost their lives. And there's no national statement from the president, no accountability, no justice, no consequences. We are in serious trouble in Nigeria, Yinka Derek says. These are some of the thoughts. 162 plus lives lost and the world barely pauses. Terror doesn't become less evil because it happens far away. That's a good one. If this happened elsewhere, it will dominate headlines. Every victim deserves the same urgency. Timmy, thank you very much for that tweet. These are the tweets on X. We'll keep talking about this all day. Terror doesn't become less severe because it happens far away. And this isn't far away. It's coming closer and closer. In case you think that you're insulated from this, injustice to one is injustice to all. Let's now bring you our top stories this morning on Breakfast Central.